It was his vision, led by none other than Reverend F.D. Reese, who invited him to come to Selma, along with the Dallas County Voters League, that really was the impetus for the Selma to Montgomery March. I don't have to recount history for you all here today. I simply say that unifying ourselves as a community and remembering from whence we come is something we can all do. I grew up here in Selma. I know it's possible with the help of community, of good teachers, of folks undergirding you, of people lifting you up, of a community lifting you up. I'm a member of Congress today because this community invested in me. I want to say thank you, but to pay it forward, which I think all of us should do in remembrance of Dr. Martin Luther King, let's invest in our youth of today. Let us make sure that each of us is doing our part to uplift our community right here in Selma, Dallas County. Everyone, each one can teach one. Each one can be a mentor to one. So my message to my hometown today on this Martin Luther King Day is that we all can do our part. I know that I may leave early after Dr. Leanord's speech because I'm donating food to the Montgomery Airport federal employees today as a part of my Martin Luther King service project. I'll be doing Birmingham's airport tomorrow, and I'll do Aliceville's federal prison on a Thursday. But all of us can do our part. You know, we pass our federal employees a smile, a thank you. It's important that we uplift everyone. I also know that you didn't send me to Washington to be a part of the problem. I hope you sent me to Washington to be a part of the solution. And so it is with that that I go back to Washington on Tuesday with a renewed vigor to reopen government. I do understand that we must compromise. I know that you have sent me there to be a voice of reason in this debate. But I also know that we cannot spend $5 billion on a wall when there are people in Alabama, children who are hungry, people who need basic water and sewer right here in Alabama. So I think it is about meeting in the middle. Democrats are for border security. Let's start there first. But we want effective border security. We want border security where our tax dollars are spent effectively. And so I will hold firm, but do know that our main priority should be reopening government. It is unacceptable to have furloughed workers and then to have workers called back not to get a paycheck. Right. Okay. So our first thing has to be to reopen government, and we're crying out for leadership. Leadership from the top. And I am honored every day to serve with the next speaker, Senator Jones. It is an honor to have another partner in Washington fighting on behalf of the awesome people of Alabama. So on this Martin Luther King Day, let us recommit ourselves to the sense of community that is his legacy. Let us recommit ourselves to helping our youth. And let's recommit ourselves to uplifting all that is good and positive in Selma, Dallas County. Good stuff comes from Selma, Dallas County. All right.
Well, good morning, Selma. Good morning. Thank you for having me today, Dr. Leanord. Thank you for being here. And I want to congratulate Cheryl Smedley and my friends Collins Pettaway over there. Congratulations on your award today. It is absolutely well deserved. So thank you for letting me here. I am here, quite frankly, because Mama Sewell told me I had I am now her adopted son. And so when she calls, I come. The only thing she didn't do, I didn't get the memo about the green. But I'm so happy to be here. And as Terry said, she is a member of Congress because of Selma, Alabama. Let me tell you something. I'm a United States Senator because of Selma, Alabama. That's just about that. I know the work, and I've got, y'all know my history of being a U.S. attorney and being able to prosecute the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing cases, and I got a, okay, shameless plug here, I got a book coming out about that. But in that book, I talk about the fact that right before the election in December, I was here in Selma, and I was meeting with Ms. Sewell and others, ladies here at Brown AME over there, and I can remember Ms. Sewell standing up, and she said, now look, you don't just get out and vote, you take 5 people with you. And that night on election, as the election returns started coming in, I thought, man, they got those 5 people with you. So thank you very much. This is always an important event, and I want to congratulate Links Incorporated for all that you do here and across the country. It's a remarkable organization, and if you really think about it, and now as I was sitting there reading through the program and thinking about the work that you do, we need more Links organizations, not necessarily Links chapters for your goals and aspirations. We need more Links organizations. We need Links organizations that put Christians and Muslims and Jews together. We need more Links organizations that puts people of different urban and rural together. We need more Links organizations, quite frankly, that put Republicans and Democrats together. All right? Because that's how you move this country forward. And Terry was absolutely right. You know, we're in a bad place in this country right now. Let's just face it. It is not, the shutdown is a symptom. Is a symptom of the divisiveness that we are seeing across this country. And people go to their corners and they get entrenched at the least thing. And what we've got to do, as Terry said, we've got to get this. I was in Huntsville on Friday talking to workers. Now, when was that? That was on Friday. Was it Friday? I can't remember. Lord have mercy. Huntsville's getting hit very hard. Those people want to work. And they're good folks, they work hard. And they're being held hostage. Make no mistake. This is a hostage crisis. This is a hostage crisis, and we need to get that government open and get these folks made whole. And I will tell you, and the thing that's getting lost in all the rhetoric is that people like Terry Sewell, myself, and others are always willing to sit down and talk about how we can move things forward. But we can't do it when we're just name calling and making sure that people understand we're not going to move. Well, let me tell you something. We can talk this through. It doesn't have to be like this. But we got to have, as we said in that campaign, more dialogues than monologues. And if we do that, then we're beginning to once again live up to the legacy of Dr. King. A legacy that is of respect, inclusiveness, dignity, and more important, vision and progress. That's where we are. The quotes from Dr. King are legion. It is unbelievable, the vision that he had. And there is a quote I was reading on the way down here. There's an article in the Washington Post today. And the headline is something like, we need to honor Dr. King, not just for his work, for his vision. Because see, we seem to be lacking that vision so much today, that where people look for only the moment. Dr. King looked for the moment, but he also looked for the next generation and the next, to try to make this country and this world a better place. And as we all know, we still have a long way to go. His vision is a work in progress. His dream is a work in progress. And it will always, as long as we're humans on this planet, it will always be a work in progress. And it's up to Links and every one of us to do our part. That article ended by saying, we honor Dr. King not for his victories, which remain incomplete at best, which is we all know is true. We honor him for his vision and for his sacrificial commitment to that vision. He saw what we might be capable of as individuals and as a nation, and believed in that possibility so deeply that he dropped everything else, even life itself, to hold it where we can all see. Let's all remember that. Let's hold that vision together where we all can see. And if we can all see that vision, then maybe we can get past these moments in our history where we are so divided, and we can come together again and move this country forward in the way and the vision that you want it to be and that Dr. King envisioned it to be. Thank you again for having me, but also thank you for giving me the honor of being your United States Senator. Thank you so much.
Thank you to all of our elected officials and for your message of unity and unification, which is the essence of the late, great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. At this time, I just have one pressing announcement. All cars that are parked in front of ATEC across the street need to be moved. You are blocking their business and they are unable to work. So please move your vehicles so that you are not towed. Sorry. So if you have a vehicle parked across the street, no judgment. We just need to make sure that you're able to move your car. When you leave, you have a ride to get home. So at this time, I would like to introduce you to Dr. Evelyn Evans. She is our Vice President of the Selma, Alabama chapter of the Links, and she will do our presentation of our dance.
I slept and I dreamed that life is all joy. I woke and I saw that life is all service. I served and I saw that service is joy. Khalil Gibran, the prophet on service. And now, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce to you our 2019 dais, all of whom are called to serve in some capacity. When I call your name, please stand. Pastor Willie Johnson, Spring Hill Missionary Baptist Church, Jones, Alabama. Attorney Jimmy Nunn, Probate Judge, Dallas County, Alabama. Yours truly, Dr. Evelyn Evans, Vice President, Selma, Alabama Chapter, The Links Incorporated. Mrs. Dorothy C. Barnes, President, Selma, Alabama Chapter, The Links Incorporated. The Honorable Prince Chestnut, Alabama State Representative, District 67. Congresswoman Terry Sewell, Alabama 7th Congressional District. United States Senator Doug Jones, Alabama. Dr. Margaret M. Jones, Unity Breakfast Chairwoman, Selma, Alabama Chapter, The Links Incorporated. Dr. Tina D. Davis, National Parliamentarian, The Links Incorporated, Montgomery, Alabama Chapter. Now, can we have everyone please stand as we introduce our guest speaker. Dr. Kimberly Jeffries Leonard, 17th National President, The Links Incorporated, Arlington, Virginia Chapter. Thank you. Please be seated.
Now we will have another beautiful rendition from the Selma University Choir.
bending. Trees will be bending. Trees will be bending. Trees will be bending. Trees will be bending. In that great get up morning, very well, very well. In that great get up morning, very well, very well.
Our keynote speaker will be presented by Dr. Tina D. Davis. So I get the pleasure of presenting Dr. Davis. Dr. Davis has numerous accomplishments to her credit, and she is very involved in community, political, and professional organizations and activities. I just want to name a few. I looked at her biography sketch, and she just had so many different accomplishments and accolades, so I had to take some time just to see what I could, just name just a few, so this is just a few. She has served as the manager of education policy and professional practice in the Human and Civil Rights Division of the Alabama Education Association for more than 33 years. She is a renowned educator in the state and has been intricately involved in education policy decisions at the federal, state, and local levels. She has served as a member of the State Superintendent's Advisory Committee, the Governor's Congress on Quality Education, Southeast Comprehensive Center, and was appointed by the Secretary of Education, Mr. Rod Page, to serve on the Southeast Regional Advisory Committee for Educational Needs Assessment, and that was under the direction of the U.S. Department of Education. She has served as a consultant on many committees, including the Advisory Committee that developed the Professional Education Personnel Evaluation System called PEPE. She is a political and community activist. She presently serves as the chair of the Montgomery County Democratic Party. She organized the Women Advocating Empowerment and organization WAVE. She has developed over 30 workshops, has presented on the state and national levels to assist many educators. Dr. Davis has also written and published many articles and continues to make numerous television appearances and debates on education as well as other issues. She has served as the president of the Montgomery chapter of the Links Incorporated, Capital City, Camillus, Montgomery chapter of Carrots Incorporated. She has been the president, the secretary, and treasurer of Alabama Association of Classroom Teachers, president of the Montgomery Association of Classroom Teachers, and District 7 director of Alabama Association of Classroom Teachers. She is a member of Phi Delta Kappa, Leadership Montgomery, Class 7, and Leadership Alabama, Class 2. And she has been a delegate to the Alabama National Convention for many, many years. Dr. Davis has also served as the national parliamentarian for the Carrots Incorporated and at the Alabama Education Association. May I present our national parliamentarian for the Links Incorporated, Dr. Davis.
Good morning. Thank you so very much, Link Barnes, for those kind remarks. I appreciate that. Everyone here this morning, we're in for a real treat. There are many varieties I could use to introduce our speaker, but I'll sum them up in her own voice at the beginning. Our speaker tells her own moving story about the influence that her 107 years old grandmother. She says that, she recounts rather, that her grandmother always walked after dinner. And like all sweet grandchildren, they want to emulate their grandmothers. So our speaker and her sibling would join their grandmother in a walk around the block and has since taken up the same habit, and with her moving spirit has inspired others to walk and think healthy. Our speaker started moving with her grandmother, and she has not stopped. She's still moving. She is a walker, yes, but more importantly, she is a mover in so many ways. Our speaker has moved through the halls of academia. She earned her Doctor of Philosophy degree in psychology from Howard University, a master's degree from North Carolina Central University, and a Bachelor of Science degree from Fayetteville State University. She was a pre-doctoral fellow at the National Institute of Minority Health at the George Washington University Medical School and a National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute postdoctoral fellow at the Howard University Cancer Center. She attended graduate summer programs in epidemiology at Johns Hopkins University. She's been a mover and shaker in getting things done. Her bio is in our program, and I certainly will not attempt to say all of it, but I want to hit the highlights of some of her experiences. Prior to launching her own business, she held various executive level positions with the Washington, D.C. public health sector and has served as a spokesperson for federal and state governmental issues and initiatives. Our dynamic, energetic mover is an entrepreneur. She serves as president and CEO of Envision Consulting, LLC, a boutique public health consulting firm specializing in strategic and innovative executive level solutions for public, private, and governmental entities. Our illustrious speaker is an achiever. She was appointed chair of the Commission of African American Affairs by Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser. She's a trailblazer. She is a mover and doer. Excuse me. As a result, our speaker is the recipient of numerous honors, awards, and recognitions, to name a few. The National Association for Equal Opportunity in Higher Ed, AARP African American Changemaker, and the Women in Excellence Reaching Higher Award by the Afro-American newspaper. She received the Chancellor's Medallion, which is Fayetteville State's highest honor bestowed upon an alum. Our speaker is not just moving, she's getting things done. Her extensive community service includes Director at Large of the American Cancer Society, Vice President and member of the Board of Directors of Black Women's Agenda, Incorporated. She's an active member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Incorporated, a member of the Washington, D.C. chapter of Jack and Jill of America. She is transforming. She has a lifelong commitment to public service, exemplified throughout her successful professional, academic, and civic endeavors. Our speaker is a woman of deep faith and commitment, as exhibited through her commitment as ruling elder at 15th Street Presbyterian Church in Washington, D.C. She's married to Stephen Leanord, retired fire chief in Washington, D.C., and they're the proud parents of 2 sons, Victor and Alexander. At the 28th National Assembly of the Links Incorporated, in her acceptance speech, our speaker said, as gatekeepers of justice and our commitments, we are in a season like no other. Ladies and gentlemen, how appropriate it is to have as our speaker this morning, celebrating and honoring Dr. Martin Luther King, who was the drum major of justice, to be here with us. Now, our speaker has special ties with Alabama. Her brother Kenneth is a graduate of Tuskegee University, where he was a star athlete. But on a personal note, I came on the national scene several years ago in another administration, and I want to share with all of you that it was our speaker who reached out to me and embraced me as I came on board. She was warm, she was accepting, she was embracing, she was loving, she was very personal, and she was there for me. Since that time, I've had the opportunity to work with her very close and personal. And I'm here to share with you that she is a leader extraordinaire. You know, a friend of mine likes to always say, and she's in this room, that she has a PhD in observation. Well, I've sort of inherited that from her, and I can tell you that we have a true leader whose cause is to truly carry out the mission and the vision of the Links Incorporated. It is my esteemed honor to present to you our dynamic and electrifying speaker for this morning, the 17th National President of the Links Incorporated and the Links Foundation, Dr. Kimberly Jeffries Leanord.
I'm just going to carry Dr. Davis around with me everywhere I go. The end we seek is a society at peace with itself, a society that can live with its conscience. And that will be a day not of the white man, not of the black man. That will be a day of man as man. Dr. Davis, thank you again for that beautiful introduction. To the choir, thank you for your beautiful music. To the dynamic president of the Selma chapter of the Links Incorporated, Dorothy Barnes. Her vivacious vice president, Dr. Evelyn Evans. Her always on-duty officers, Dr. Margaret Jones, the chairwoman of this iconic event and her hardworking committee. My Link sisters of the Selma chapter, including the charter members, platinum members, and alumna members. Our national parliamentarian of the Links Incorporated, Dr. Tyler Davis. Past Southern Area Director, Dr. Katie Bell. Tracy Moran Adams, Southern Area Parliamentarians. National and area leadership past and present. My visiting Link sisters from near and far. Connecting Links, Era Links, today's honorees, the dignitaries assembled, including Probate Judge Nunn, Representative Chestnut, my good friend, Congresswoman Sewell and Mama Nancy, Senator Jones, Pastor Johnson,
all guests assembled, and anyone else that I may have missed. Good morning. I am thrilled and honored to continue the tradition of Link's presidents and join with you at this 26th annual Unity Breakfast. As the 17th national president of the Links Incorporated, I bring you greetings from our members, over 15,000 African American women throughout the United States, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and the United Kingdom, who are linked in friendship and service, and bring their numerous gifts and graces to our 288 chapters. Now I'm going to repeat myself. The end we seek is a society at peace with itself, a society that can live with its conscience. And that will be a day, not of the white man, not of the black man. That will be a day of man as man. This quote is an excerpt from the speech Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gave on March 25th, 1965, when the Selma March concluded in Montgomery. It was true then, and it is true today, 54 years later. When I arrived in Selma yesterday, President Barnes and Dr. Robinson were gracious enough to take me on a tour of Selma. When I stood on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, viewed Brown Chapel AME Church, it was not lost on me that over the course of 33 years, I have been to Alabama many times. As Dr. Davis said, my brother attended and graduated from Tuskegee. We spent many a Thanksgiving in Montgomery at the Turkey Day Classic and had business in Anniston. And I have many friends in Selma who have known me since I was a little child. But the first time that I visited Selma is in this time and in this place. It was not lost on me that my first time in Selma, Alabama was special. Not just any trip to Selma, but here today to celebrate with you the 90th birthday of our king, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., in the place where his work was so pivotal in galvanizing so many to do so much for our people. Thank you, Selma, for allowing me to be here in this moment. As I stood at the edge of the Edmund Pettus Bridge, I felt the power of what had come before. It made me think of Moses and his biblical encounter with the burning bush. If you remember, God called out to Moses as he approached the fire. And the Lord said, "Do not come any closer. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." Now the ground on which Moses stood was holy because of God's presence, and that he, God, revealed himself to Moses in that moment. Holy ground. That's how I felt yesterday, and that is how I feel today in this particular place, at this particular time, here with you in Selma, Alabama, as we celebrate the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So I feel that we are standing on holy ground, ground consecrated by the sweat and sacrifices of those who marched so that the life of the sons and daughters of slaves would be different and would be productive. Holy ground. When our ancestors endured crossing the Edmund Pettus Bridge, a bridge named for a former Confederate brigadier general and the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan, it changed the course of history. It was a bloody Sunday, a brutal Sabbath that was not kept holy. A day filled with billy clubs, angry protesters, and the heavy weight of nightsticks that left many injured and with battered spirits. But we persevered and eventually saw a new day, one that was civil and a little more just. Knowing that, I cannot stand here and speak to you without recognizing lives lost, hearts broken, and the dedication of many. I want to say again, thank you, Selma, Alabama. Thank you for your commitment to social justice. Thank you for leading the way from Selma to Montgomery. No one can be here without feeling the power of this city and our ancestors' energy. I want
want to say that the wonderful members of the Selma, Alabama chapter of the Links Incorporated, an award-winning chapter, I do want to say that too, know this energy that resonates through the sacred ground of Selma. They have embodied uniting to transform our community, not only by sponsoring this unity breakfast for the past 26 years, but by working to change the course of young people's lives. Uniting to transform our community, that theme, today's theme, is really central to the tenets and the ideologies of the civil rights movement and the overarching meaning of Dr. King's efforts to create a beloved community. It was Dr. King's vision and prescription for a healthy society, one of equal rights and opportunities, justice, and civility, one that moves towards inclusiveness and honors our neighbors with regard and respect. In Dr. King's book, Strength to Love, in a sermon on the beloved community, he said, "With every ounce of our energy, we must continue to rid this nation of the incubus of segregation." He wrote, "But we shall not in the process relinquish our privilege and our obligation to love. While abhorring segregation, we shall love the segregationists. This is the only way to create a beloved community." He was speaking about a basic biblical belief found in the Gospels, one we all know, one of the two most powerful commandments: love your neighbor as yourself. We know sometimes that is very hard to do, and we lift up our Congresswoman and our Senator in prayer because we know every day they're fighting the good fight to meet those commandments. The King Center in Atlanta describes the idea of a beloved community in this way. Dr. King's beloved community is a global vision in which all people can share in the wealth of the earth. In the beloved community, poverty, hunger, and homelessness will not be tolerated because international standards of human decency will just not allow it. Racism and all forms of discrimination, bigotry, and prejudice will be replaced by an all-inclusive spirit of sisterhood and brotherhood. If we can do these things, the transformation of our communities and uniting for a common cause falls neatly into place. If I had been standing before you 8 years ago, 6 years ago, 3 years ago, I would have said that Dr. King's dream for social and economic justice and a beloved community, while maybe a long way away from being realized, I would have said we're making progress. On January 20th, 2009, we witnessed in person and on television the inauguration of the 44th President of the United States, the first African-American President, Barack Obama. We had hope. But today, I'm not so sure. For us as a country, these are trying times. Unity feels like a very distant concept. The clock is winding. Counter, discrimination, injustice, and lack of civility seem to be ruling the day. We are quickly traveling backwards and not remembering the proving ground of the March on Washington, the sacrifices in Selma, and the life-changing murder in Memphis. Those events represented the hard-fought work for equitable treatment, unqualified truth, and non-negotiable respect. So as Dr. King so eloquently said, where do we go from here? How do we unite to transform our community? As I look out on you today in this room, and those on this dais, I am impressed. Each and every one of you, whether as a member or a guest, is a precious and invaluable link, no pun intended, a link and a partner in our effort to unite and transform communities on all levels, spiritually, mentally, artistically, and economically. We are the lifeblood of our community. Without our unified and connected efforts, people would go hungry, children would go untutored, the elderly would be neglected, and illiteracy would flourish. People would go without the basic necessities on countless levels. This is why our continued efforts to keep our promise to continue Dr. King's dream is crucial. By linking our actions
We are breaking the cycle of poverty, illiteracy, and dependency. We are making a difference in our communities and transforming our communities. And when we transform our communities for the good, we change the world. We must continue to participate in the electoral process and let our voice be heard. Look what happened in the midterm elections of 2018. There was a historic wave of women of color entering the political process, with more than 20 serving in this new Congress. We elected people who put the issues of our community first. We did that. Our voice and our vote. We were heard. Through our voice and our vote, Sister Terry continues to fight the good fight, and Senator Jones begins it. This is what we did. As I stand here in Selma, I say, we must also resurrect the key creeds of the civil rights movement and implement them in our everyday lives. They are the tools that helped us make strides towards freedom. The tenets of civility are so important to us now. Dr. King recommends adhering to philosophies for non-lasting, non-violent social change and creating a framework for a beloved community. Transforming and enhancing our community starts with how we treat one another, how we love our children, how we pray for our enemies, how we respond in kindness. Our commitment to the least of these and our dedicated mission is to leave anything we touch better just because we were involved. Dr. King wrote this in Strengthened to Love. The hope of a secure and livable world lies with non-disciplined nonconformists who are dedicated to justice, peace, and brotherhood. But my brothers and sisters, we have a lot more work to do. We have more dreams to fulfill, and we have more promises to keep. We've all heard the adage, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. I'm going to add to the adage and say, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, but knowledge, power, prayer, commitment, and unity provide formidable strength. We know that every generation has had its own unique set of challenges, and I think we can agree that ours are no exception. We may have the benefit of far greater technological advances than past generations have, but in many ways, our lives are much more complicated. Dr. King said we may have come in here on different ships, but we are all in the same boat now. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask, which of you has not been personally affected by the scourges facing our society today? Poverty, the government shutdown, issues of substandard education and illiteracy, youth in crisis, health issues, access to care, the struggle to find and promote peaceful coexistence, not only throughout the world, but in our own communities, and just, dare I say, living while black. Whether we realize it or not, all of these points are unfortunately tied together. One begets the other, and it's up to us to short-circuit the mechanism that perpetuates these conditions. If we don't do it, who will? If not me, then who? It takes one person to extend a hand to someone more needy. I want you all to look at your hands right now. Extend your left one out in front of you. That's my left one. Extend your right one. I promise you, if each of us extends one hand, just one, that has to be both, to combat these demons, we will be able to overcome and render them moot. An out-of-towner once drove his car into a ditch in a desolate area. Luckily, a local farmer came along to help with his big, strong horse named Buddy. He hitched Buddy up to the back of his car, and he said, "Pull, Nellie, pull." And Buddy didn't move. Then the farmer hollered, "Pull, Buster, pull." Buddy didn't respond. Once more, the farmer commanded, "Pull, Coco, pull." Nothing. Then the farmer nonchalantly said, "Pull, Buddy, pull." And the horse easily dragged the car out of the ditch. The motorist, who was most appreciative, was also very curious. He asked the farmer, why did he call his horse by the wrong name 3 times? The farmer answered, well, Buddy is blind. And if he thought he was the only one pulling, he wouldn't even try. We can't be Buddy. We must not be afraid to try, even if we're the only ones. If we try, others will join us. This in turn begets the unity that we're focusing on in this 26th year of this unity breakfast. This is what we need in order to transform communities. As Dr. King said, we must commit ourselves to a struggle for a new and better world. The decision is ours. The choice is up to us. The time is always right to do what's right. Now, a few years ago, some of you may remember, we had a 3-word mantra that all of us used. Some of us still use it today. These are words that we should never forget. We should look at ourselves in the morning, each morning in the mirror, and remind ourselves, yes, we can. Yes, we can beat poverty. Yes, we can smash illiteracy. Yes, we can conquer devastating illnesses. Yes, we can overcome racism of all kinds. Yes, we can overcome the social injustice that plagues us. Yes, we can. And we must, because we must help each other in times of great need. Yes, we can educate and care for our children, and then they will know what a great America looks like. In the words of Dr. King, I say to you today, my friends, that in spite of the difficulties and frustrations of the moment, I still have a dream. So my friends in Selma, Alabama, take off your sandals, for the place on which you are standing is holy ground. Our dream is powerful. Our dream can be realized. Yes, we can continue to turn the dream of Dr. King into a reality by uniting to transform communities. Enjoy the day, do some service, and remember the legacy.
Thank you, Madam 17th National President of our organization, the Links Incorporated. What a dynamic speech. I say to Madam National President, yes, we can. Yes, we will continue and try to do. The Sewell Links Incorporated would like to present to our Madam National President the following plaque. It reads, the Selma chapter of the Links Incorporated, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Unity Breakfast 2019. Kimberly Jeffries Leonard, PhD. Speaker, Dorothy C. Barnes, President. At this time, we would like for the Montgomery chapter to come forward. I believe they have a presentation also.
On behalf of the members, the executive board, and the president, Bureau Jordan of the Montgomery Alumni Chapter of the Links Incorporated, I proudly present to you
a small token of our love and affection.
At this time, do we have any other presentations for Madam National President?
Good morning. I'm Karen Brown, President of Zeta Eta Omega Chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated here in Selma, Alabama. And at this time, I would like to ask all my members to please stand as we present a token to Soror Kimberly Leanord Jeffries.
The President of the Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Phyllis Belcher. I'm the President of the Tuscaloosa, Alabama chapter of the Links Incorporated, and it is my honor and pleasure to present a token of appreciation to our National President, Link Kimberly Leanord.
At this time, we will have our recognition of our distinguished citizens. And our first Distinguished Citizens Award will be presented by Mrs. Pinky H. Platt, who is one of our past presidents of the Selma, Alabama chapter.
Good morning. I'm privileged and honored to present the Honorable Judge Collins Petway, Jr. Collins Petway is an Alabama State Court Circuit Judge, 4th Judicial Circuit, the largest geographical circuit, judicial circuit in the state of Alabama. He was a partner in the law firm of Chestnut, Sanders, and Petway, LLC, for 27 years in Selma, Alabama, and owned Attorney Collins Petway, Jr., LLC. He is a 1978 graduate of Dallas County High School and was salutatorian. He graduated from Alabama A&M University in 1982 with the school's top academic honor, earning straight A's in each course each year for a perfect 4.0 average. He is a 1985 graduate of the National Law Center, George Washington University in Washington, D.C., where he was a student representative each year and who's who among law school students. He has practiced law for over 28 years. Not only was he a stellar athlete, he earned scholarships for academics and athletics. Collins was a noted trial lawyer and had extensive experience in diverse areas of law, including civil, criminal, real estate, public authorities, governmental and corporate, bankruptcy, civil rights litigation. He was also a certified sports agent by the NFLPA in 1986. His trial experience has led him to handle several complex and novel issues in state and federal courts, including many instances where his position has affected the change or clarity in case law. He is a noted Alabama election law attorney. He has worked with Legal Service Corporation of Alabama on many pro bono projects, as well as the circuit and district courts in this state. He has also presented cases before the U.S. 11th Circuit Court of Appeals and 2 cases before the U.S. Supreme Court. Among other positions, Collins has served as board chairman and district president for the 7th District of Alabama New South Coalition, the Alabama Democratic Conference, and board member of the National Conference of Black Lawyers. He is a member of numerous community-related organizations, including Omega Psi Phi Fraternity. He has been the local chapter of OSLAS. He has served as elected district and state officers. He is a member of the Pride of Alabama Elks Lodge. He is currently the chair of McRae Gaines Preparatory School Board. He is a member of the Selma Dallas County Alabama A&M Alumni Association. He has served as the vice moderator of the Shady Grove District Association, and in that capacity, the only lay person to ever serve. He is a past president of the Selma Dallas Emancipation Proclamation Committee, always keeping his eye towards the people. He is a deacon and music director at Ebenezer Baptist Church, performing several community tasks, where he works with the youth department and also works with the elderly. He served as vice president of Alabama Baptist State Congress of Christian Education. He was he was a stellar athlete in high school and college, earning both the academic and athletic scholarship. He is married to the former Cynthia Electa Perkins, and he was an advisor and attorney for his brother-in-law, Mayor James Perkins, and served as his election campaign for the several campaigns that Mayor Perkins had. He has 3 children, Kendrick Collins III and Candace Celeste. My experience with Collins has been as a past legislative chair in the Links for the past 4 years. I would call Collins through the Panaglytic Council, and we would work with the Get Out to Vote campaigns, the voter registrations, the ad campaigns that we've done on the radio. He was our go-to person. Did I also say that he makes a mean pot of gumbo? He loves Alabama A&M football. It is my honor to present to you Judge Collins Petway.
Well, I do want to thank you all for this award. I was asked to give some remarks. I do want to say thank you to the community for allowing me to serve as your circuit judge. In that capacity, I have the pleasure of working with several other elected officials. One, I see my presiding judge, Judge Marvin Wiggins, when he's our circuit judge, and we operate in the largest geographical circuit in the state. 5 counties we deal with. And then that we have to deal with 5 whole states of elected officials. I see also my fellow Circuit Judge, Judge Don McMillan, he's here. You know, Judge McMillan, as part of a fundraiser for his church, had to grow a beard. And since he's grown that beard, my new nickname for him is Wolfman. So y'all see Judge McMillan just affectionately call him Wolfman. That's who he is. But we all work well together. I see District Judge Bob Armstrong here in Dallas County. He's one of 5. He's one of 5 different district judges we have to work with. Also, I work with 5 different probate judges, including our new judge, Judge Nunn. Looking forward to working well together. And of that, 2 of those probate judges in those 5 counties chair those county commissions like Judge Nunn does. And we have to work with 5 different county commissions. I work with 5 different circuit clerks and also 5 different sheriffs. But all of us work well together because we talk and communicate. We don't always agree now. We don't. But at least we have good discourse, we understand our position. Judge Wiggins and I were just in Bibb County last week trying to get some things done before that county commission. And they were very receptive. We talked. You know, in the past, they didn't agree with us. But they got some new blood up there now, so we think we may get something done. Yeah, see, sometimes you have to wait on an election. You do. You have to wait on an election to get something done sometimes. But thank you all so much. And of course, every time I get a chance to speak to people, I tell you, thank you for allowing me to serve as your circuit judge. And I thank you for sending me to the courthouse. But I tell everybody, don't leave me up there by myself. I need you all to come work when you get that jury summons now. When you get that jury summons, I need you to come put aside what you have to do and come serve. You know, Dallas County is our largest county in this circuit, but this is the county we have the most problems with people showing up for jury service. And I'm gonna tell y'all now, I have sent the sheriff after people, and I'm gonna send the sheriff after more people. Y'all just gonna get upset with me. You know, I'm serious about that, because I really need you to come serve. Because see, we need your help. My former law partner, who's deceased, Gerald Chestnut, filed a lawsuit back in 1978 just to get people, black folks, to serve on jury. See, before that time, they had a jury commission. And matter of fact, only really pretty much white males were served. I mean, even women, whether you were black or white, didn't hard to serve. But now we all have a chance to serve. I need y'all to come serve. Now, please do that city, do that. Because see, what goes around does come around. And one day you may have a case that you need somebody of a good mind to decide. But I do want to thank the Links. You know, we have worked together for many years. Since 1986, I've been working tirelessly in this community trying to uplift things, never trying to get any credit for anything, but we pushed a lot. Even let my wife working. We were working for Senator Hank Sanders' re-election campaign. And so that's how I've been ingrained in this community. But I want to thank the Links. You all have worked with me and other organizations for many years. And on this last event, we worked on the last election campaign. I'm going to go to my seat. I want to thank y'all for what you did. We started a new initiative, and it really was the brain trust of Sister Maxwell. We started that initiative to get these yard signs out. And I tell you, I thought that went over well, because after the election, that night, I went out to collect all the yard signs that I placed out in public places, and I couldn't find that one. I guess everybody likes us, they want to keep souvenirs. But Senator Jones, we did that in the effort to think about you in 2020. We try to lay the groundwork now, because we got to go to work, y'all. We got to go to work now. I'm serious. So please keep that in mind. And thank y'all for the work. And I look forward to working with all of you Links in the future. So when you all see us coming, you know we mean business. Thank y'all so much.
Hello, I'm here to present our Citizen of the Year award to Cheryl Smedley. This young lady is a beautiful person inside and out. Ms. Smedley accepted the position of the Executive Director of the Selma and Dallas County Chamber of Commerce in July of 2009. After spending 20 years in the banking industry, serving in various positions including Assistant Branch Manager and Commercial Portfolio Manager. She attended Daytona Beach Community College, Selma Wallace Community College, the Alabama Banking School at the University of South Alabama and the University of Alabama. She is a 2004 graduate of the Leadership Selma Dallas County. She is a recent graduate of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Institute of Management Southeast at the University of Georgia. She serves on many boards such as Habitat for Humanities, the Black Belt Foundation of Alabama, Business Council, and Bureau of Alabama. She is a member of the 10th, she's a member of the, Church Street United Methodist Church, where she serves in many capacities. She was council secretary while serving on the finance committee from 2005 to 2007. She also serves on the worship lay ministry. She currently serves on the worship steward committee. And we are proud to present to you our Citizen of the Year, Ms. Cheryl Smith.
Good morning. Good morning. Let me say that I'm extremely and emotional, excited to be recognized today for this very unique program that's been taking place in this community since I've been here. I want to say that I got involved with this by a dear friend that I worked with at the bank. She invited me to come each year, and what a lifting message that it is each time you come. And thank you for those very important words today, President Leonard. Very meaningful. And to our local Links chapter, I want to thank you for all you do in this community through your compassion and courageous and willingness to make a change here. And to each of you for allowing me to come and serve in your community. Thank you.
Congratulations to each of our distinguished citizens. At this time, we will have Links Willetta Ellis and Dorothy J. Brown. They will present scholarships to students in the Selma Dallas County area. And as President Jeffrey stated, we need to put one hand out so that we can reach and help one. And this is one way in which the Selma, Alabama chapter of the Links helps those individuals in this community.
Good morning. Good morning. Selma, Dallas County, and surrounding counties. We are so excited to be uniting to transform our community. On behalf of the Selma chapter of the Links Incorporated, we're very proud to recognize our 2018 scholarship recipients. These scholarships are awarded to 4 very deserving young people from the Selma, Dallas County community. And they have not only excelled in academics, but they have also held various leadership positions in their communities, their church, and their school. Our first scholarship will be presented by Dorothy Brown, and it is the Stratton Stokes Selma Chapter Leadership Scholarship.
Good morning. Good morning. I come to you with this presentation from a friend that I grew up with from first grade to 12th grade in Selma, Alabama. She's Josephine Stratton Stokes of the Selma of our city. It gives me honor and praise to present this scholarship on behalf of Mrs. Stokes. She's a member of the Seattle, Washington chapter of the Links. And she's presenting this to a deserving senior pursuing a post-secondary degree at a 4-year institution. She has given this scholarship since 1996, for 23 years.
recipients of this year's scholarship is Shania England of Dallas County. She's attending the University of Alabama and majoring in nursing.
All right.
Okay, our next scholarship is the STEM scholarship, and this scholarship is awarded to a deserving high school senior who pursues a career in the science, technology, engineering, or mathematics field. The STEM scholarship recipient this year is Destiny Hardy, and Destiny could not be here. I'm going to ask her mother, Dorothy Hardy, to please stand in for her. Destiny attends the University of South Alabama, where she is majoring in chemical engineering. Also, they have some other family and church members. Will you all stand, please? Okay, the next scholarship is the Links Scholarship. The Links Scholarship is awarded to a deserving high school senior pursuing a post-secondary education degree. The recipient for 2018 is McKevion Eaton, a Selma High School graduate. McKevion attends the University of Alabama, where he is majoring in public health. We are his parents, and I think he has some other church members here too. You all please stand. Okay, the fourth scholarship is the Cage Scholarship. The Cage Scholarship is given in memory of Mrs. Mary Rose Cage by her family, and this scholarship has been given for the last 5 years. And I'm going to ask Maria Dale to please stand, because she is responsible for this scholarship, and if she has any family members. Mrs. Cage was a retired educator and Selma businesswoman. This year's recipient is Kiana's Hildred. Kiana is a Selma High School graduate. She attends the University of Alabama, where she is majoring in public health. With the parents, okay, she's already standing, and I think she has the church members over here too that they probably. Again, these are our 2018 scholarship recipients on behalf of the Selma chapter of the Links and also our community. You all have helped us make this possible, and we are so proud of our young people, and congratulations to all of our 2018 scholarship recipients. We wish you the best as you pursue your educational dreams. Thank you.
Congratulations, scholars. I wish you well in your future endeavors. At this time, we will have Links Wanda Maxwell and Dr. Patricia K. Robinson to introduce our corporate sponsors and our acknowledgements.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Wanda Maxwell, as she said, and I'm the corporate sponsor chair. And you know that we would not be able to put on a breakfast like this with this many people for the small price that we charge. So we solicit many corporate sponsors, and I really want to thank you, because not only do you provide assistance with putting the breakfast on, but you also sponsor our scholarship, you also sponsor our program. We serve the community through Step Up at the YMCA. We serve the community through STEM. We serve the community through mentoring. We thank you, corporate sponsors, and I will name them. Please stand, and we will take a photo after this is over. International Paper Company. Would you please stand? Alabama Power. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. The Honorable Judge Collins Petway. Judge Don McDowell.